Catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
We're back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cam's Corner. Joining me today, another University of Rhode Island personnel and broadcaster, Paige Messier. Paige, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always pleasure. Coming from the experiences and connections that you've had, it's got me very excited to ask you some questions about, how you got into it and stuff like that, because I basically have like the same exact interest in getting into like broadcasting and stuff like that. So off rip, I want to know right out of the gate, what has been your favorite sport like throughout all these years, like growing up, since you were a little kid?
My favorite sport is definitely to watch football because my dad, he was a football coach throughout my whole entire childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like surrounded by football and I kind of love that. And then for women's sports, I love volleyball. I played volleyball. So I kind of have a lot of knowledge on it and I really like to cover it.
Yeah. So just like jumping the gun a little bit, obviously any opportunity you get in the broadcasting field, you take it right away. So like you said, football, volleyball were like kind of like your main sports. Like you knew like the most about them. Was it hard to adjust to different sports that you might have not had as much knowledge on?
Yeah, it definitely was. Basketball, it's my main thing now. I do the
Mm-hmm.
women's and men's team.
Right.
And I, going into it, did not have much knowledge at all. I knew how to talk about it. I knew like the terminology, but like the actual game itself, I didn't know that well. And for color commentary, it's tough to like do a sport that you don't really know much about.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of went to YouTube, at Doris Burke, I watched her all the time.
Right. Yep.
And kind of saw how she covered it, kind of learned more of the game, and then definitely took some time, but I'm getting more used to it now.
Yeah. So like backtracking like a little bit, where did like your true like passion for like sports like start for you? Like you said, I know your dad was a big football person. Is any other like connections there?
Well, I played sports my whole entire life since I was like 4. Started off with t-ball,
Mm-hmm.
then moved to softball. So I just I love the competitiveness of like sports and the nature of sports. So once I came to college, I stopped playing sports and I just like missed it so much. I wasn't even sure like what I was going to do when I came into college. I was just a comm major.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I realized like I'm not playing sports anymore, I miss it. I love it. So I kind of dove into sports media and kind of fell in love with that.
So maybe explain some experiences from those sports that got you involved in like broadcasting. Did you I know you're a photographer too. Did you get anything involved? Like did sports kind of build a passion for that too? Or was it just kind of stuff that you gained over the years?
It definitely did. When I was playing sports, I wasn't thinking much about like the sports media aspect of it, to be honest. I mean, it definitely built knowledge of like the different games and like how sports work. So I guess it kind of helped me in that way. But like I said, I going into college, I wasn't like, I'm going to go into sports media. I love it so much. I don't know if the sports really helped me with that, but it definitely like built my passion for sports and made me really want to work hard to become good at sports media.
Right. So like I said, like were you interested in like anything else like video and like camera work and stuff like that, or was it just mainly just like communications and then you started building up a passion for sports?
Yeah, it was mostly like communications, and then I work with Shane Donaldson. He's now the associate athletic director at URI, and he kind of just threw me in headfirst, which I'm so grateful for with all different aspects of sports. I came in, I started doing football like stats wise, and then I wasn't a huge fan of that, so then I moved to the social media side of it. So I did the football team's Twitter, and I loved that. And then John Watson, he's the video guy at URI, he threw me into broadcasting. Then I realized I loved broadcasting more than social media. So I just kind of like built. I didn't really know what I liked going into college, like the communication side definitely, but I never had any experience like with videography, photography. Like Shane literally just gave me the camera and he was like, hey, try it. And it was fun and I liked it. So kind of like dove in head first.
Right. So like, not really knowing where you wanted to go, like as far as, like communication, sports and all that kind of stuff, like what types of programs and like internships did you look into, like maybe your senior year going into, your freshman year at URI, and how did you like decide that you wanted to go to URI?
So My senior year of high school was kind of when the pandemic started.
Right. Yep.
So
Yeah.
my plan at the time was I was gonna go to Penn State.
Hmm.
And I like pretty much signed my deposit. I was going to go, but then with like the COVID thing, we weren't sure if we were gonna be able to go to school. So URI is my state school, so I'm from Rhode Island. So I kind of, it wasn't my first choice, but I'm so glad that I came here because Penn State is a huge school. Like maybe you might not get as many opportunities, but with URI, like I've just been given so many opportunities. It's close to home, so during J term, which is what we're in right now, I was able to like really take in a lot of broadcasting spots, and like that probably wouldn't have happened if I went to another school. So the it wasn't my like obvious path,
Hmm.
um, but I mean everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, the internships wise, going into college, the only thing I really did was I worked with the Interscholastic League in Rhode Island. I was
Hmm.
like a student ambassador. That was the only internship I had though going into college.
So you didn't really like look into like your senior, like I guess your senior year summer going into freshman year, you didn't really have like any internships that you were like looking at or anything like that.
I was looking at the athletic department here, and I was in contact with Shane, but because of
Hmm.
COVID, like nothing was really open,
Yeah.
especially with sports. Like nothing was available. So unfortunately, I didn't really get to start my sports media like internship career until the beginning of this year, really.
Right. So I'm a sophomore too, actually. I graduated in 2020. I went to Johnston in Rhode Island. And like you said, like that senior year kind of ending it off, like COVID like just hit. So for me, like I didn't get the opportunity to apply to URI. I actually was thinking about going to URI. So then I got the job at Rick. And then I've been doing that since the start of this year. I didn't get to do anything freshman year because COVID. So like I said, it's exciting to ask you questions because of how far you've gone with URI. So backtracking again a little bit now to your freshman year, what kinds of classes did you register for, and how did you know like where to start off as far as like the communication sense?
Yeah, so I started off my freshman year just communication classes. I
Mhm.
don't think I had one sports media class. It's like Com 100, like it's intro to com,
Mhm.
intro to writing, journalism. And then my second semester of freshman year, I started taking like intro to sports broadcasting, intro to sports journalism. So I started taking some more of those classes. And my sister is also a communications major. She just graduated actually,
Mhm.
and she had a minor in sports media, so she kind of helped me navigate the way because I had no idea. And
Yeah.
so she kind of helped me pick my classes, and now I'm taking all sports media classes.
Yeah. So knowing like the classes like you were going to get into now, like based on what you have a passion for. I know you were telling me about the Harrington School of Communications. Like, is that on the campus at URI?
Yeah, so it's URI split up like with different colleges.
Yep.
So the like media is Harrington School, and they actually put on like all the broadcasts. Like they're the ones who like put the students in the broadcast, and it's a great program. Like Ranger Hall, it's near the quad. I don't know if you know URI,
A little
but
bit, not great, but
yeah, it's like a broadcasting like central, like everything, like radio, podcasting. And then we
Mhm.
also have like a broadcasting studio, which is how we do the broadcast for like the game. So URI it's not really talked about much, Harrington School, but it really is a great program.
No, yeah, definitely. I looked into it. Like, I definitely want to try to hopefully get into it next year. But like, so
Yeah.
explain to me like some experiences that you got into like your freshman year and like how it was like when you first started off.
When I first started off, I actually commuted from home.
Yeah.
So I didn't have like a big college life, but
Mhm.
I started off writing for the Cigar. We have a school newspaper. It's called
Yep.
the Good Old 5 Cent Cigar. And I just went to a meeting. Then they gave me some sports stories to write. I started off with like pretty small stories. Then I eventually got a women's basketball game. So that was the first like experience I've ever gotten in the Ryan Center was that. And then that's honestly my freshman year that I only did the 5 cent cigar just because with COVID and everything, I was trying to get involved. Like I was trying to get in communication with people, but with like the policies, it was just kind of impossible.
So this year it's kind of been like in like full swing and you've been getting like a plentiful amount of opportunities, right? Like more
Oh,
sports.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Just like I actually made a TikTok about this. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning of this year, I like had no idea what I was going to do with my career. Like I was like, is sports media right for me? Because all I had done was journalism, and I'm not a huge fan of writing.
Yeah.
So I was kind of worried about like what opportunities would be brought to me. But then once this fall started, it's kind of been like nonstop with just football and right to volleyball season, right to basketball season. And now I have like a broadcast every other day. So definitely a lot of opportunities.
Definitely. Yeah. Exciting, fun. So like you said, you're not like really like a writer. Like what kinds of, have you gotten any internships yet? Like maybe like last summer, or like have you done any like this year yet?
So the only internship that I have this year is through the sports department. And then I also have one through the Atlantic 10 conference. I'm an ambassador. So I go around and like take pictures of campus and send them in, and then they post them on their social medias. So that's all I'm kind of doing now. I don't really have much time for another internship.
Yeah.
But hopefully this summer I want to start trying to get into news stations. So, you know, the local ones, ABC6, Channel 12, Channel 10. And I've made a lot of connections with like, that's what's good with what I've been doing. Like I've been able to network with a lot of reporters. So hopefully I'll be able to get an internship with them this summer.
Right. And it's like definitely about like who you know too. Cause like if, you know, somebody, you know, like knows another person higher up, like it just opens the door for like more opportunities. So, you know, kind of bouncing off that, tell me about some cool experiences that you had, you know, so far broadcasting that, you know, maybe opened your eyes, or like I said, even opened the door for like more opportunities.
Well, it started off, my first really cool experience was just, it sounds really simple, but being able to like go up to the press box, like during the football games, because recently our football team has been doing really well. We weren't always a football school, but like the crowds were crazy this year. So just being able to like, you know, walk on the field before the games, be taking pictures like with the whole crowd there, a really cool experience. And then I told you about Shane, so he kind of connected me to John, who's the video guy, and I've just gotten so many, like I would have never expected like I filled in for a women's volleyball game, and now I'm doing probably one of the most viewed games in the school, the men's basketball. So just being able to do that, and then doing the men's basketball game is probably my second favorite experience so far. I just, especially, you don't see many girls doing men's sports. Right. So I just thought it was a cool experience being able to do that and get some feedback, get some criticism, and then work on it for my next one. Yeah,
definitely. What has been like, you know, kind of going off like the men's basketball, because that's what I'm like kind of following. Like what was like one of the most exciting games like you get to call this season?
Yeah, so, well, actually, my favorite one so far was actually yesterday, and it was women's basketball, and it was UMass, and it was a great game. They were ranked 2 and 3, so it was just such a fun game to watch. I did that with Zach Austin. He's also a sophomore, and he's doing great. And then I've only done one men's basketball game so far. I have another one tomorrow, LaSalle. So,
oh wow.
Haven't gotten much experience with that yet, but working towards it.
Yeah. So like, is it like what do you stream off of for your, like, is it on like ESPN Plus? Is it on, you know, like, I know Your View is one of the things you guys use too. Like, what do you like broadcast off of?
So when it's through our school, it's ESPN Plus and Your View. It's like it's the same broadcast on both platforms.
Yep.
And then once in a while, like CBS Network will come in, and then they have their own people that come in.
Yeah.
USA Network does it too. But when it's students doing it or the school putting on the production, it's ESPN Plus or Your View.
Nice. So I get a chance to talk to Stone Freeman. I know you've had some encounters with him too. Like, have you been able to call games with Stone?
Yes. And just a shout out to Stone. He's been like the best mentor to me. He's one of the best like that I've seen. Like he went to URI as a student, did as much as he possibly could. Like just what I'm trying to do too, just every opportunity given to him, he just took it. So being able to really learn through Stone has helped me so much. And like, even I remember I got some negative comments on Twitter, like after the men's game, and Stone was the first one to reach out and just tell me like, it's all right, like it happens. So he's just been a great mentor and definitely like so good to learn from.
Yeah, he's got that like that radio voice, like it just like, and that's his regular voice too. So it's like, it sounds, not that it sounds weird, but it's like, well, he actually talks like that in person. So it's pretty cool and eye-opening to see like that character that he brings just to like everyday life. And like the stuff that he's told me like in the podcast and stuff, I'm trying to apply it to like my journey? Because like what you said, like with the football team, basketball, just going up in like press boxes and stuff. I haven't really had that experience because at Rick, it's just like all on the court. There's no like really, there's no football team, there's no hockey team, so there's no like really like I guess like press box per se. So everything's just on the court and everything's like we manually do everything. So there's no when I do games sometimes there's no color guy. Like I have to do everything like myself. So yeah, it's fun though because it's like you have to kind of like you're the one talking throughout all the dead space and you kind of have to like prep for it I guess a little bit more, but that's something I'm definitely looking into, like I said, for URI, hopefully for next year. But going back to like your experiences, were there programs and like other opportunities maybe that you applied for that you really wanted to get into that maybe you got like rejected but that made you like push for like another opportunity?
With sports media, I don't think so far. I have been rejected.
It's still early on too. Like
yeah,
you both are both sophomores, so it's not like we have this whole.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of rejection to come. I'm definitely sure of that. One thing that I want to start doing is like looking more into football broadcasting, which I haven't been given the opportunity with yet. So I guess I never asked, but that's something that I definitely want to work towards. And then rejected, not yet, but it will come.
Yeah. So kind of bouncing off that a little bit, like what was the feeling for you? Like the first, like maybe like a day before, like the first like official sports game you got to call, like how did you feel? Like what was going through your mind? Like how was your mindset and things like that?
I was so nervous. It's different for every sport because with women's volleyball, it's not as intense because you're not on camera, like no one sees you. So it's just your voice. So I was definitely nervous the first time because I had no idea what to expect. But once I got that first one down, it was pretty easy, especially because I had knowledge. Before the first basketball game, I don't think I've ever been so nervous in my life just because it's on camera. Like the open, halftime, and at the end, you're on camera like 3-4 times. And I'm not like a public speaker really. Like I don't love giving like presentations in front of the class but it's just different like when it's sports media because it's something I'm really passionate about, but definitely super nervous. I still get nervous before like every time. The men's game I got super nervous just because I knew there was a bigger audience watching. But yeah, I do put a lot of prep in, and that's something that Stone taught me.
Right.
He takes his notes very seriously. You should see his notes.
Oh yeah, he showed me, and it's like I try to kind of mimic it a little bit, but it's like I don't even know how he gets all that information. It is, yeah.
And so when I prepare really well, I feel more confident, but there's always nerves before every game.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember like one of my first games, like like you, I'm not really like a public speaker. I don't like presenting in front of classes and stuff. Well, I never did. And then once like I did my first game, like I said, I was by myself. There's no color guy. There's one person next to me doing like graphics and stuff. And because Rick's such a small school and everything. And it was like I did it, and then they were like, "Have you done that before?" And I was like, "No." Like I was like, it was so nerve wracking. So like I felt like I couldn't even get words out. And they were like, "That was like that was great." And I was like, I just didn't think personally it was that good. So now after your freshman year and stuff, like I said earlier, like I mentioned, like what was that summer going into your sophomore year now? Like what were you like preparing for and stuff like that?
Yeah, so COVID went on, it's running a little rampant again, but it went on a little pause in the summer. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities then. And Shane reached out to me and he's like, we want you to come to the football stuff. So I went to a few scrimmages during the summer because again, it's very helpful that I'm local, so I can just drive right down. And I just did, like I said, I did stats. And it was all right. It was very fast paced. Like I've never done anything like that before. Like even in high school, I would like go to the basketball games and help out once in a while because my dad used to be an assistant principal, so he would like do the scoreboard. So that's like the most I've ever seen. Like I've never seen like the behind the scenes really. And then I got taken on like a tour of the Ryan Center, just to prepare me for what's to come. I kind of got told like my main sports are going to be football and then women's and men's basketball. So they kind of gave me some information about that. And then from then on, it's like I've been saying, just been kind of nonstop.
Yeah, no, trust me, I get it. I mean, obviously my schedule's not as jam-packed as you, but like I said, doing this, I've been trying to do as much as I can to get my name out there. But as far as you with the games, like, have you ever felt like you've called like a bad game? Like you didn't do like you said, you were nervous or you didn't feel like you did as good as you could that kind of like pushed you to do better like your next one?
Yes. it was actually like 2 weeks ago, and I called the game, and when I finished it, I was just like, that was not my best. I didn't prepare. I always prepare, but I didn't prepare like
Yeah.
as well as I usually do. So I didn't go in very confident. And then it's not, no one probably even realized it was a bad game, but I just like felt myself like stuttering and kind of pausing in spots where like, because you know how it is, like once you have a thought going, you start saying it and then it just leaves your head. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, now what am I
I
going
know.
to do? So no one else probably realizes it, but like, of course you realize it. And then when that happens, I just kind of, I watch all my games, literally every single one. I watch the whole thing, and I kind of see like what I can do better. I take notes on like what I can do next time. And what I've really learned with color, because I haven't done play-by-play yet, it's less about notes actually and more about just like watching the game, which I really struggle with because again, like I said, like I don't have a ton of knowledge on basketball, which is why I'm kind of learn more on that. But it's really a conversation more than just looking at like a stat sheet and saying, oh, this player did this like at this time. So I've been working on trying to stay away from my notes, and that's also something Stone taught me, and just kind of talk and tell the audience what I'm seeing.
Yeah, like for basketball, I feel like it's the only time like you really gotta like look at notes is like during like dead space. So like say like Stone calls a play and then like there's nothing happening and like nothing's going on during the game. That's when you look at something like, oh, this player's been shooting this much from the field and like stuff like that. Like, you never have to like kind of get so deep into it is what I've learned too, because like I've never done, well, I did color once because there was one more guy with me, but just having to try to do both and fill in that dead space, that's where you kind of use notes and stuff like that. So like those types of games are going to come. But I guess kind of like to wrap up, like as a student, like how has living on campus been, since I know you said like you commuted like your first couple of years, like how's life on campus been since you've been so busy?
It's been really great. It's good because I need, just for myself, I need to be busy. Like
Yeah.
I think being busy is always helpful for anyone just because you have something to focus on. So it's really given me like a purpose here. Like a lot of my friends are kind of like not knowing what they want to do, and they always tell me, they're like, you know what you're gonna do, and I really don't. I really don't know where I want to go from here. Like I'm just trying to do everything and then seeing what sticks. But being on campus is definitely a great experience. It is, as long as you stay focused and really just grind, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Those prepare, make connections is definitely the top thing. Like connections have gotten me everything that I have, really. So being on campus has also definitely helped make like networking, being able to be present at the games, be present at practices. So living on campus is really a benefit.
Yeah. Has there been like a limited fan like restrictions and stuff like that with COVID kind of spiking up a little bit, or?
I don't believe so. At the Ryan Center, I know that it's just a mask policy, I believe. So everyone has to wear a mask. Football, there was no restrictions at all. I don't think, but it's been pretty consistent through COVID. Last year, like there was no one in the Ryan Center at all. Like it was media sometimes, like even if media was allowed, and then just the players, which is just so tough on the players because
there's no energy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I know they're very excited and happy to be playing in front of their friends, their family, and definitely a whole different atmosphere with restrictions lessened.
Yeah, and it sucks for me. Like I'm online right now at Rick, like the first month, but like the games they're still going on. So like I have 2 games tomorrow, but there's no fans. Like fan restrictions. Well, not even restrictions. There's just no fans in general. So that kind of sucks. But like the headphones that I have that they put on, like there's no sound in them, so I can't hear myself. But it's like it kind of tunes out everything. So I'm still like kind of myself. I feel like if I could hear myself, I kind of be like a little more quiet and like content. But that'll come in time. So like I said, the last kind of thing to wrap up everything, like I said, going like what you said too, like where do you go from here now? Like what are you looking to seek for yourself in the future?
Yeah, so the dream for my dream changed like once a month. But recently I've been really wanting to work for the NFL and do play-by-play for the NFL, which is, that's like the dream. But I also like love the social media aspect of sports. So I really want to my goal for this year is to get an internship with ESPN, see how that works out. But really for my college years, the goal is just to try everything, see what sticks, don't say no to any opportunities, and something will come of it. And I think as students, like, we all like kind of don't know exactly what we want to do, but if you just try everything, you'll figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Exactly. And having that dream is kind of like I guess like the goal, like you said, just to push for that, and like whatever comes along the way, just take it as you go. Like I said, that's kind of like all I got wrapped up for today. Paige, I appreciate the time. I know during this time of the year, like especially games are like all over the place, so I know the scheduling is all busy, but I appreciate it. So one last thing, like I said, and I know I keep saying one last thing, but what did you think of Cam's Corner, and who might you want to see next as a featured guest?
Ooh.
I always ask everybody this at the end of the show. So
I love Cam's Corner. You're very personable, very easy to talk to. Who do I want to see next?
Trying to get some more females involved, because I know there's so many like girls doing so many different things that are like so eye-opening to me. So
let's see. Maybe do you have players on?
Yeah, players, college players, anybody.
I would love to see Manu. Do you know Manu?
No.
Manu Tahan. She's just an absolute beast. She's on the women's basketball team.
Yep.
She's from France.
Oh wow.
So she was the co-Atlantic 10 Player of the Year last year. Just a great player. I can text her.
Yeah, text her. Yeah, send me like her like Instagram and stuff, because I'm always DMing people, even if I get like no answer, like no one answers me, but I'll still reach out to anybody, because you never know who's
anyone on the women's basketball team right now, because they are so underappreciated. Like, they're 7-0 right now. The fans just are not showing up. So
yeah,
just any publicity for them, they really deserve it.
No, definitely, yeah. Let her know about the show. Send her the links, reach out, and I'll definitely be in contact.
Perfect.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. If any other like questions or anything, just reach out.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I'll let you know if I make my decision in the near future. But I'm definitely excited. I'm really, really excited.
That's definitely.
Thank you.